how's it going? It's Captain Croll, Captain Croll's Movie Reviews. And today I'm going to be reviewing Mortal Kombat, which has just been released in the past week on streaming services for rent. It is definitely made for the movie theater, there's no doubt in that, but due to COVID, that's currently what's happening with a lot of these blockbusters that have sort of been waiting in the wings. So let's get right into it. Mortal Kombat is obviously based on the very popular video game series that's been around, I believe, since the 1990s. And I will start off by saying I'm not really what you would consider a video gamer. I do play video games the odd time, but I'm not a true gamer. I don't spend hours a day doing it. Maybe once in a full moon do I sit down and play a few minutes of video games. And also, having said that, I'm not sure if I ever played Mortal Kombat. And when I say that, I'm referring back to the 1990s. I may have played it in an arcade, but I certainly haven't played it on my PlayStation 4 or anything like that. I am a little bit aware of Mortal Kombat and its background. I know that one of the villains' name is Sub-Zero, for example, but I really don't know who the characters are for the most part in this movie. Um, and maybe that's a good thing going into this movie. Let me just start off by saying this movie isn't going to win an Oscar. It's not going to win an Oscar for Best Screenplay, but it's actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I watched it last night. Its running time is approximately, I believe, 2 hours. And I gotta say, it's what I consider a Hollywood popcorn summer type movie. It's a lot of fun. Similar to the Transformer movies in the past, they're not going to win anything for storyline either, but it's a lot of fun to watch. So let's get right into it. The plot essentially, and it's quite convoluted, but the plot essentially is there's different realms. Earth is one of those realms. And for whatever reason, there's this massive tournament to be held where I assume if you beat all the fighters in one realm, you take over that realm. So I think Earth is in jeopardy here. I'm not too sure. They don't really explain that well in this movie. So what we discover is one of the main heroes in this movie is by the name character by the name of Cole Young, portrayed by actor Louis Tan. Now Louis Tan has a martial arts background. He starred in Marvel's Iron Fist on Netflix, which was a fairly decent show as well. And then the main antagonist, Sub-Zero, and of course that's the one name I can remember from the series, he is portrayed by Joe Taslim. And Joe Taslim is actually a really good actor, martial artist as well, and he's currently in the Cinemax series called Warrior. So you have a few people that you sort of recognize, but there's not really a famous cast here. And again, I like that going into a movie because a lot of times when you have a famous cast, you sometimes get sidetracked when the movie slows down. You start thinking about their other roles. In this case, I've never seen a majority of these actors before. So that's a good thing. So let's get into it. The main hero, he's a UFC-style kickboxer, kind of struggling. He's got a family. And for whatever reason, he's being marked by the realm, I guess, the Earth realm, as being one of the contenders for this Mortal Kombat tournament. Now, the movie itself is 2 hours, but it doesn't feel like 2 hours. It definitely goes by at a fast pace, which is good and bad. The good thing is you get lost in the movie, and it's actually fun to watch. The bad thing is there's not a lot of character development. Because there's so many characters in this movie, it would take me hours to talk about. And you don't really see their backstory so much. You're kind of wondering, who is this person? Who is this? Is this person like from another planet? Is this person human? But let's talk about the good things about this movie. First of all, the action scenes are pretty darn cool. They are violent. I wouldn't recommend this movie for children. And when I say violent, there's scenes such as somebody being cut right in half with can't say what because I don't want to spoil the movie, but basically the body's cut right in half. Heads are obliterated and stuff like that. It is pretty grotesque, but I guess it's in the name of fun for the movie, which is kind of dark to say, but the movie doesn't take itself seriously. I don't think it's not meant to be an Oscar contender. It's not meant to go on to win a Best Picture, but it's definitely a popcorn flick. Very similar to Godzilla versus Kong that recently came out too. I actually really enjoyed that movie, and I'll have a review of that movie in another segment. But again, it's a popcorn movie where you can lose yourself for 2 hours. watch the action, and the movie goes by at a pretty good pace. I'm not sure. I've heard rumors there may be a trilogy coming for this, but I feel this movie could have probably been broken down and made into a trilogy itself, just because it feels somewhat rushed. Um, you don't really get a chance to discover who all the different characters are, where they come from. You do get a backstory to a certain degree on the main hero, Cole Young, and you do have a bit of a history lesson in Sub Zero's past as well. But for the most part, most of these characters are somewhat quickly forgettable. There is one character in this movie, and I don't know if he was intentionally being funny, but he made me laugh every time he talked. And it's a character by the name of Cano, and he's played by actor Josh Lawson. I think he's an Australian fellow. But in any event, this guy's got the best one-liners, and I was cracking up the entire movie every time he opened his mouth. It was something funny. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it was definitely added the humor aspect to the movie. The special effects are excellent. You can tell this movie was made for the IMAX release, for a big screen release. Definitely, no doubt about it. The special effects are cool. The settings are off-world. I assume they're off-world. Is actually pretty cool too. And the fight scenes are cool, and they're all the time. You feel like you're almost watching a video game at a certain degree, and in all fairness, it's based on a video game, so it makes sense. Um, is this movie for everybody? Absolutely not. I mean, if you're looking for a serious movie with serious plot, serious story, this isn't for you. But if you're looking to escape for 2 hours and watch some cool special effects, action, martial arts, and stuff like that, this is a fun little escape. I will say I went in with low expectations and I was pleasantly surprised. Um, out of a 1 to 10 scale, how can I rate Mortal Kombat? I would have to say probably a 6 out of 10. It's not a horrible movie. It isn't. I've seen on some reviews, and again, I'm seeing a lot of reviews by diehard Mortal Kombat fans, and I'm not one of them. So in all fairness, but half are saying it's hot garbage, the other half are saying it's excellent, well done. So, I truly, I'm not an expert in Mortal Kombat, nor am I pretending to be. I'm just somebody that's not familiar with the franchise and ended up watching the movie and ended up enjoying it. It's a what I call a guilty pleasure, a popcorn movie. Like I mentioned before, not for small children at all. There's quite a few violent scenes in the movie, and probably scenes that would scare them as well. But for the most part, it's an escape. It's a fun escape. It's a fun movie. If they did make sequels, I definitely watch the sequel, see where this series goes. But as far as character development, it really missed the mark on that. The storyline was a little confusing to a certain degree. I still don't understand fully whether they were off planet at the end or whether they were on Earth, on some part of Earth. I don't know. But and where all these other realms are, and the fact these other realms, I assume, are aliens, but they're speaking English. So I'm not sure if they're all from Earth at some point. But there's a lot of unexplained things in this movie. And again, if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, you very well might have these answers. I don't know, but I feel that this 2 hour movie should have been broken up into maybe two 2 hour movies, part one and part two, and allow for the character development and some more backstory so you could fully understand what's going on. I felt that they kind of put everything in the kitchen sink in this movie, and that's a good thing when you're looking for action or getting your money's worth. If you're just going for special effects and action, but I feel they could have spread this movie out a little further, and we could have had the character development. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it. There was laughter. There was kind of awe over the special effects. It's a good movie. I like it. It's not for everybody. I'm sure a few people disagree with my review, and rightfully so. But I got to admit, it was a guilty pleasure. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was kind of brought out the kid in me, I guess, when I was watching this. And it actually, I'll be honest, made me consider maybe going out and buying Mortal Kombat, the PlayStation, the video game, and giving it a try. Cool. And I just want to end by saying the antagonist Sub Zero, is cool. He's a cool villain. We've seen this type of villain before, but just a cool villain. I won't give anything away with his powers or abilities, but I think his name kind of gives it away. But in any event, I think it was cool. It was kind of menacing seeing him. He was like a Darth Vader type character, watching him there. So again, I give this a 6 out of 10. It is currently available for rent. I believe in Canada it's $24.99 right now for a 3-day rental. Definitely worth it. You know, Considering this movie was meant to be on the big screen, I think it does deserve to have a $24.99 price tag on it. Because realistically, if you went with somebody to movies and food, etc., you'd be paying that anyways. So if you get the chance, I recommend renting it if you want to have fun. But if you're looking for a serious movie, you probably want to maybe scroll along and find something else. That's my review of Mortal Kombat. 6 out of 10. Had a lot of fun. And if you want to have fun too, watch it. And leave some comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like my channel, and let me know what you thought of Mortal Kombat. Take care.